in the English-speaking world, futurism is quite old. You know, Paul Sappho, Alvin Toffler, Ray Kurzweil, Peter Drucker in some ways was a futurist. So people who have sort of foresight, right? In the rest of the world, it's considered to be a little bit like a storyteller, you know, like. But it's not about predictions. You know, this is the most important part. It's not about predicting like Nostradamus. You know, it's more about having ideas that coming out of research and conversations, and bringing it down to a simple realization. I mean, it's quite clear, for example, you could have said in 1999, it was clear that music is going to be in the cloud, you know, like Spotify, Moog. That was clear 10 years ago. So it didn't take much to see that, but to suggest it and to talk about it changes what people think. So my job is to share what I call foresights, you know. Foresights are what I've learned will come. Yeah, you know, again, in Western countries already is largely a profession. You know, it's. I think really, if you take out the name and just say, okay, it's somebody who shares foresights. You know, there have always been people who do this. Right? Yeah. Most of them are writers or academics or CEOs. You know, I mean, Steve Jobs was a futurist in many ways. You know, he didn't ask anyone if they wanted to have a touchpad. You know, a touch screen. Nobody said they wanted it, and they did it anyway. And Amazon, Jeff Bezos, you know, nobody asked for the Kindle. He invented it. So many good CEOs are what I call market makers, right? They're sort of futurists. So I think there will be, of course, given our disastrous situation today with the environment and energy and so on, you know, we need a lot more people who can share foresights to do anything. Yeah, I think basically because of the internet, we're becoming what I call a networked society. And in a networked society, the sharing of information is everywhere. So education is not just information, but it's also the experience, right? So many people have a sort of educational experience now on YouTube, which is not the same than going to school, right? But it's another kind of experience. And many governments around the world have a real problem in funding education because it's expensive. So when education becomes digital, you know, textbooks, digital books, video, the price goes down so much that every single person in the country can have access to this kind of education, right? So the government also knows that 10% of mobile increases GDP by 1%. So there's a clear correlation between education, telecommunications, access to information, and GDP growth. So my view is education will become entirely digital. So pretty much available to anyone, anywhere, anytime, and the only real challenge will be how you can make it more of an experience. So you will go to university not because you can get access, but because of the whole framework, the context, you know.